All right, welcome back to part 2 of the Scions of the Summit Dev playthrough. Again, we're picking up right after the prologue, so let's begin and start off with the story. also noticing a couple of other portrait issues that should be fixed in the next proper patch. But anyways, probably thinking, why on earth are we having a Fog of War chapter this early on in the game? But yeah, it's fitting narratively, I would say, especially for an assassination attempt. Really, it's a lot more intimidating than it probably... It's not as bad as it looks, I would say. Again, it's more just from the dev perspective, just because I know what to expect for this chapter, but we'll showcase what this has to offer. So we have 2 new units here. We have Mina, who is our lance cav, so she has a couple of lances on her hands. Right now she does have a skill right here, Roshade, or Roshad. I usually call it Roshade. But basically it's just kind of a swap skill with some buffs to it. She does have a talk with Ryosuke. For the purposes of showing off how I normally do this map, I don't usually get that conversation, but if you really wanted to send Ryosuke all the way up or send Mina down here to come talk to him, you could. But personally, in order to get all this stuff, I normally don't do it. But we will be showing off several other conversations. But anyways, this is Ryosuke. We haven't updated his portrait yet, it's still in the works, so stay tuned for that. But he does have this very interesting personal skill here that allows you to swap places with a distant ally or enemy in sight, and providing a buff or debuff depending on the target. So something about this chapter, and I noticed that a lot of people don't really notice this going forward, is that how we decided to work with thieves in this game is that, and it's kind of similar to healers as well, where a lot of the times in Fire Emblem, these characters would just kind of function to steal or open doors, or in the case of healers like Feline, they just heal, and that's kind of it. They're staff bots essentially. But when I wanted to give each of these characters a little bit more function overall, just so that they don't kind of fall to the wayside. And so that was the design philosophy for these types of characters. Ryosuke will be showing off what we do want people to do. I know that some people don't do this, but because, again, a lot of the times people are going to think this is like regular Fire Emblem, where if you steal something or win swap or whatever, you can't act afterwards. But basically this section is very, like, where Ryosuke is placed on the map is very intentional. And so this is basically to showcase that you can do several things in one turn. So as you notice, there's a guy here on a pillar. So what we're going to do is steal the vulnerary, because that's the only means of healing himself as of right now. We're going to win swap and then cause a debuff for this enemy. I can attack this guy probably. That's probably what I'm going to do. He doesn't have a high hit rate, but just in case I do have the vulneraries. He did actually get hit, but he did crit, so that's going to be helpful. So we're going to have Ryosuke coming into this room over here to grab these chests, which is why he's not really going to have a lot of time to come talk with Mina. But she will be able to talk with Strata right now. I do want to point out that some of these, especially the early game and battle conversations, some of them were not written by me, but they were actually written by Link7, who is our other additional writer for this game. He also worked on map design, and so if you notice that like the style of writing isn't the same, that's probably why he actually wrote that particular conversation. So if you like his writing, maybe ask him to do more of these. Anyway, thank you, Estrada, for actually critting. And so what we're going to do over here is attack this guy. The cool thing about Sunflash, actually, is that it sort of acts a little bit like a torch as well, so it's kind of useful on this chapter. It's not going to be super helpful here. Another thing is that one of the LTE, or the engine that we're using for this game, because it's not actually a This is not actually a ROM hack. We're using basically an engine that functions like Fire Emblem essentially, and it's called Lex Talionis. And so basically we kind of build off of a I guess existing project, and then pretty much that's kind of how it works. So there's a lot more freedom for what we can do, but one of the particular characteristics about LT is that for whatever reason the default option for these fog of war functions is that it's called line of sight. So basically anything that's past this particular wall we won't be able to see even if we're like right next to it. We also can't attack over certain walls, so unfortunately you can't do that for these characters right here. But anyway, we're gonna be attacking this guy right here. And then just have these two talk. Finish this. It's probably just a short sword. Please don't miss. There we go. And so, the boss is actually starting from this area over here, so he's going to be moving up this way. Something of note, if you noticed at the beginning of the chapter, in the red text, is that all the enemies are after Mithrius specifically. So how the AI functions is that it's going to be prioritizing him over any of the other characters. They will still attack them. The only one that they won't attack is Fulian. They'll attack back, but at the same time they're not going to be attacking her for narrative reasons that I won't really get into. I know that some people notice that you can kind of possibly figure out who might be behind this attack, specifically because they're after Mithrius, but I feel like some people don't really I guess pick up on the fact that they're wanting to keep Fulian alive, and just keep that in mind, that there might be particular reasons as to why, and who else might be in this, or who else would benefit from keeping her alive and getting rid of Mithrius. So we're just gonna go up here with Mina. There's no way to actually get to that chest before it gets stolen. So, but we're gonna try to get rid of that guy quickly. So what I'm gonna do here with Ryosuke is we're gonna win swap. Probably not gonna attack this guy, but I'll just leave it as is, just so that he has enough room to come in here. So, I'm gonna see if I can. Let's hope that straight hits. Okay. And we'll just finish off with Mithrius here. And we're just gonna get going up on here. Pretty good level up there. It's not attack because 10%. I would be very surprised if he does. So I'm gonna start moving everyone this way. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. One shot him. We're going to start moving everyone down, just so that the boss kind of has a way to, at least a reason to come up here. So there's actually an enemy in this area, so what we're going to do is come this way. Use the... just in case. just have our mages help her out in a little bit. This guy's taking quite a bit of damage here. So as we notice, the boss is coming this way, which is good because we don't want him to go after Ryosuke. This guy right here, and then Feline. So these guys are coming in pretty quickly. So I'm gonna grab this chest. Using up a lot of spaces or anything, but Ryosuke's gonna buy everything for some reason. So I'm gonna try to pull these guys down. Actually being able to get to these guys a little bit more quickly. Items, hopefully, this here. Move extra up a little bit. This here. Move these guys down a little bit. I don't have to worry too much about the boss actually coming down to attack this brother. Yellow. Then just move floating down here and then heal up. It's actually pretty good to deal with damage here. As long as Astria can handle these guys, should be fine. I don't like the fact that I'm going to use up all my vulneraries for this, but it's okay. Just need to deal with a little bit. See if I can get a kill for Nina. That's good. Let's get her a little bit of level ups because I do plan to use her for this playthrough. Not bad. Hold off on that for now. Just move my Bruce down a little bit. So probably gonna want to try to come after him. This is very annoying. That Ryosuke is getting hit by everything. Probably barely survive. good opportunity to, oh, he actually got strength, which is surprising. He does sometimes for me, which is pretty funny. But, actually quite a couple level ups here, which is helpful. Strider's actually doing pretty well. Probably just leave it like that. Ryosuke getting strength too. Also kind of surprising. I will also note that there are a couple of dialogue changes that we've made to some of these early chapters, as well as a few later down the line. Just wanted to point that out in case some of this dialogue doesn't sound as familiar. But again, thank you all for watching this next part of the playthrough. We'll be moving on to Chapter 2 next time.